But if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. He didn't. He vilified us instead of, I don't know, trying to make a case for Joe Biden. That did not happen. If anything, he made a bigger case for President Trump. Robert De Niro, here he is.
But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns. We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street, we tolerate it. It's part of the city. It's part of the culture.
Being a clown in New York City is not part of the culture. People do things in the street, you tolerate it. This is the problem with liberal thinking. Shouldn't be tolerating in the streets. Remember when Rudy Giuliani was running New York City? There's no tolerating clowns doing stupid things in the streets. Stupid things like punching women. That's one of the things these so-called clowns are doing. Now, he wants to relate President Trump to the thugs and goons roaming the streets of New York City. President Trump has done more for New York City than probably any real estate developer in the history of New York City. And that's an absolute fact, Robert De Niro.
But not a person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that. Anyway, we make room for clowns, to each his own. But no one takes him or took him really seriously. They take him seriously now, of course.
No one took him seriously. The man's a billionaire. He went on to call President Trump a two-bit player, a grubby real estate developer, unsuccessful. The man is a billionaire. Whether you want to overestimate or underestimate his net worth, everyone agrees it's well over billions of dollars. Far greater than anything Robert De Niro has ever done. And when you look at what President Trump has done for New York City, for that skyline, for what he did in Central Park, saving it, basically, for what you look at what he's done, 40 Wall Street, one of the signature buildings in the Trump portfolio, was a disaster of a building. He rescued that monster place. After 9/11, everything President Trump did to New York to help it come back from the destruction that occurred that day. Robert De Niro is so far out of line, and I think he came off very, very stupid through all of this.
And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave.
He will never leave? Well, first off, let me ask you, where are you getting that from? Because if anything, in 2020, when the election was literally stolen from him, he left. And he left peacefully. Now, what's going to happen if President Trump, God forbid, is convicted? And I'm still predicting a full acquittal here, by the way. I'm one of the only conservative commentators predicting this. I told you I'm right 95% of the time. 5% of the time I get it wrong. I hope this is not one of my 5%. But I'm predicting an acquittal. If he's convicted, what do you think will happen? There's not going to be rioting. There may be a lot of F-bombs. There may be a lot of screaming and yelling. There may be a lot of sign holding. It's not going to be rioting. Shop owners aren't going to have to worry about their shops. Police cars aren't going to have to be worried about getting flipped over and set on fire. But if Barack Obama was on trial for something like this, what do you think would happen if he was convicted for the exact same thing that President Trump is on trial for? There would be riots, fires, places burned down, cops being injured, bottles being thrown, you name it. It would be absolute chaos because the Democrats are the party of violence. Violence. And this is all proof with the way that we're reacting to this. And even Robert De Niro, yes, he got MAGA'd, as President Trump said this morning, which is a great comment. But he wasn't accosted. He wasn't ever in danger. You can't say that for the left.
What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life? I hope this new...
A dictator for life, by the way. Really? Because he didn't do that. And if he was supposed to be a dictator last time around, one, the first 2 years of President Trump's term, we had Congress and the Senate, and there are a lot of things I wanted pushed through that didn't get pushed through. If President Trump was trying to be a dictator, he did a really poor job of it. He did a really great job of being a president and getting what he could get through with a weak Congress. And that's what it was. It was a weak Congress. We're slowly getting to the point where I have great hopes for this next Congress in January if we get the victories that we're expecting. But a dictator? No.
Ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives.
This is not going to resonate with moderates. When you call President Trump a danger to their lives, when you have open borders, you have MS-13 gang members, Tren de la Agua gang members coming through. You've got the cartels from wherever basically controlling the border. You've got crime running rampant in every city across America, and every big city across America is run by Democrats. Crime is out of control. You want to talk about people feeling safe. It is not under Democrat leadership. This, again, is a guy who is out of touch.
This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president. Really. We don't have a choice. On January 6th, while Republican lawmakers...
Oh, shut up. I'm not going to listen to him talk about January 6th. You want to preserve freedoms in America? Vote for Joe Biden? Excuse me, I'm literally watching our freedoms being taken away from us. I'm watching political witch hunts of his number one political foe. And anybody that surrounded himself with President Trump is now, facing some kind of a court and legal battle. This is the reality we face. A weaponized justice system. Freedoms are gone. What about even you go as low as electric vehicle mandates? They're literally telling us what kind of cars they want us to drive. That's not freedom, man. It's not at all. Which is why, again, this guy is out of touch.
I mean, this is really, even these people over here are it's kind of crazy.
No. It's not.
It's really crazy, and this thing, Donald Trump has created this. He should be telling them not to do this, but he's just...
Donald Trump should be telling protesters not to protest when the Democrats have made a living protest. You see what's going on college campuses around the country, and they're not being violent to Trump supporters. Protesters on college campuses, rioters, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, they're all Democrats. He's upset that you got some cars honking and that they're calling him an a-hole? Come on. President Trump shouldn't be telling anybody there to stand down. So, President Trump did say that Robert De Niro got MAGA'd. I got a clip of him getting MAGA'd.
Democrats, you are gangsters. You are gangsters. You're washed up. Fuck you. You're a little punk. You're a softy. You're a nobody. Your movies suck. You're trash. You're trash. You're done. You're done after this, guys. You're done.
Well, again, he got MAGA'd. Your movies suck. You know what? Here's the sad part, man, and this really does make me sad. His movies don't suck. His movies are actually really good, but I don't want to watch them anymore because I don't like this guy. This guy is a disaster. And so, you know what? The way I spread my message is by not going to his movies, by not renting his movies, by not watching his movies. But they are good. And, the people call him washed up. He's not a washed up actor. He's probably one of the best actors that Hollywood's ever seen. That makes it all the more of a tragedy. It makes it all the more sad that the guy's delusional. In many respects, I feel the same way about Robert De Niro that I feel about those that are close to me that think like this. I'm disappointed in them. I feel sorry for them. I don't know how they can't open their eyes and see reality. They're blind liberal zombies, followers instead of critical thinkers. And for those people, in many respects, I have compassion for, even though, Robert De Niro, you are 100% a total asshole. You are a big-time D-bag. The headline on the podcast was De Niro, the a-hole. I was going to put De Niro the D-bag, but I figured, you know what? I got to have some couth, a little bit of couth.